Hey guys, welcome to Kipoerneke's Corner. I am in EverQuest Legends. Last thing I did last night was call over to Oggok with my little character here, my little Ogre, and I'm gonna kind of make my way toward the bank because I am pretty full on stuff, and I know where the bank is in Oggok these days, so um, easy peasy. Let's come over here, go to the trade skill depot, because I have some items that can definitely go in me. I don't know, obviously that was not something I intended to grab, but whatever. Uh, Oddly, the fish scales and the Cossack angler do not seem to be edible, but also, um, they don't go into the trade skill depot, so that implies that they're not trade skill items, right? So what are they? If they don't go into the depot and also they're not trade skill, I don't know. I don't know what that means. It doesn't say if you click Alt and you look over it. This one says Quest. This one does not say Quest. So what's the deal with that, right? Is it really a quest item and it just isn't labeled as such, or is it really a trade skill item and it isn't labeled as such? It also doesn't get auto-eaten, it doesn't seem, because I think it took a berry last time I needed to eat, instead of taking the Cossack angler. So I'm not sure what the deal is there. Let's go ahead and throw the water in here, and that's morning dew, I believe. We got some cinnamon sticks. Now, if we press shift, I believe, before we do this, let's do shift and click. It takes both of the things in the stack, and that's good information. Somebody told me that the other day. It's phenomenal. Do it if you can. And so we're just going to throw all of these sorts of products into here. I don't know about the batwing. Oh, this is no trade and not heirloom. What is it? I assumed it was berries. It's a ripened heart fruit. Now, what on earth is a ripened heart fruit? I haven't a clue. It's no trade. It's tiny. It's very little weight. Class is ranger and druid. Now, I'm neither a ranger nor a druid. It's no trade, so what can I do with it? Perhaps I'll make myself a ranger or a druid one of these days, and then I can use it for something unknown. Currently, I suppose it's something that can go into my bank or potential later use. Sort of like this bottle of Kalish. Not sure what it's all about. I made it. It was neat. Unfortunately, it's just not really... Look, we have two of the ripened heart fruits. They don't stack. This is there. Well, let's see. Do I have any rusty things? I know that I should have... Well, no, I don't have any rusty things in here, because my rusty things are all in the bank. Let's see. What do I want to do with the stuff? That's the question. Maybe I can throw some of this into the bank as well. That's like a skeletal rod or something like that. Let's put it into the equipment tab just to take up more room there. For no reason whatsoever. We've got a tattered belt. Does that stack? Not with anything. But hey, we'll throw that into the equipment tab as well. Alright, now, or catch it. No such luck. So, I suppose we can toss the work hatchet in here as well. I see that I'm out of food and drink now. This is a very bad position to be in. I could just go and buy some more. I even have some drink, technically, in my trade skill depot over there that I could pull out, but not really interested in doing so at this time. I'm just going to unload the bags a little bit, and part of that is going to mean that I'm going to break down some of these rusty things here. We got a netted mantle. Don't have another of those in there either. Tell you what, I don't have much in there, do I? I suppose I could throw it into one of these boxes, this equipment. The trouble is, will I ever find it again? Once things go into boxes, you never know if you'll ever pull it out again. So I think these four are all rusty things because I tried to keep them more together. But then, you know, as I got more things, obviously I wasn't keeping that together. But we definitely have... Oh, wait. I thought I already had put an ore catcher. I did. I put an ore catcher right there. So what if we go ahead and merge these two? There we are. Let's see. Do I have any other ore catchets hanging around? It doesn't look like it. All right. Cool. Cool. And in that case, back into the bag with you. And let's throw these random fruits into there as well, the ones we can't actually use. Me as well. It's another rusty thing. Got all the rusty things. And we got a cloth choker here. No good. Rusty mace. Bead necklace. Pretty sure I don't have one of those. I think I would have noticed. It's a little difficult for me because in EverQuest 2 you can just drop an item into a box or bag that has space and it'll just go on in. But in here that's not the way things work and it's continually confusing me. Easily done, you know. Small cloth cap. Do I have one of those in here? I don't. Alright, let's toss it in here as well then. How's about tattered gloves? Pretty sure I don't have those in here. I don't. Alright. Gonna keep the keys on hand. We got those patchwork boots. I made those myself. Why? I'm uncertain. Just for fun, I think. Got a Legionnaire's bracer +5. Now that implies to me that I might should keep it on my person because clearly I've been getting more of them recently, and so I'll just keep it there because it's obviously set to auto merge. Keep that in the box. How about the Death Fist slashed belt? Realistically, again, being Death Fist, probably I'll continue to grab them. It's a quest item. Do I keep the quest item on me or do I throw it into the bag? I mean, it might be something I could use in Death Fist. I almost said in Death Fist Citadel, but Crushbone Keep, I think is where I got that, not Death Fist. Death Fist Citadel in EverQuest 2 is in Zek. I don't know if that's the same here or not. I don't know if Zek is here or not, to be honest. I assume that it is, but that is simply an assumption. Alright, so we've got a lot of that stuff cleared. Oh yeah, buckler, right. Grab the buckler and throw that in somewhere as well. We'll just toss it. Yeah, maybe right there. Now somewhere, I have some items in here. I think this is another of the shortened. I think it's a shortened spear. We got all three shortened spears here, and I think that one of these. Where is that open? Okay. Yeah. So I guess it's this one. Maybe another one too. Has some rusty items in it. So if I have any that we can merge, these are the ones that I've been keeping that are at least like up to rank 4. So let's go ahead and merge these newly acquired ones with that. Because what we really need is like level 10 rusty items, I'm sure, right? Got a rusty mace here. Let's do some merging with this one over here, ideally. What else we got? And that was the only rusty mace. That one's a scimitar. I don't have another one. We got the mining pick. No mining pick there. Another thing is, it doesn't tell me which bag I have open, like it does in EverQuest. So, EverQuest 2 rather. So I have a little trouble. Is that all of the items? Possibly. So looks like the rest of this I can safely turn into ore, and then ultimately, hopefully, some sheets of metal. How many sheets of metal do I have right now, I wonder? I can go to the trade scale depot, check that out real fast. All right, sheet of metal. I believe it's what it's called. Maybe called metal sheet. Who knows? I think it's sheet of metal though. Sheet metal. Was close. We have 4 sheet metal. I don't know exactly what to do with sheet metal. I noticed that there were quite a few things. Oh, hey, how you doing, Kevin? He says, how's it going? Long time no see. Yeah, I guess my chat was not showing. Okay, there we go. I think I got that fixed. All right. But yeah, been busily clearing out some bag space here. So, off we go. So yeah, how have things been for you? What you been up to? All right, let's go find the forge. It's been a little while since I was in Oggok, and I'm gonna have to fall down a hole. No, fell into the water. What a shame. This is not as easy to get out of as it may at first appear. The ladders are a little tricky for me. I've never been great at climbing things in game. I climb things much better in real life than in these games. That went okay though. All right, I'm all right with that. Now, just try to find the place that I need to go. So there's an oven. No, not an oven. A forge. I don't need an oven right now. And we're going to try to get to it. It's over in amongst this area down here. Let me see if I can find it. There's Blurgerda. Blurgerda over here. What if I wonder if I tried clicking on, yeah, I'm not sure about it. It's right here. Let's try clicking on this guy. All right. Kevin says, doing good, same old stuff. Well, that could be good, could be bad. Not sure. Have you gotten any new heroes over there? In Watchers, I actually managed to accidentally pull another copy of somebody just the other day. Who was it? I cannot remember right now. But I was just kind of doing the daily thing and ended up with a legendary out of the blue. That just didn't work at all. Unfortunately, the wisp is not functional here. You know what, though? I think it's this tunnel right here that I need to go down. I think this is right. This is looking good to me. I see pottery supplies. We got Bouncer Zach here. I don't know if that's correct or not. Grimbo is also going this way, and I feel like Grimbo knows what he's doing. He did a little kind of cheer thing a minute ago. I'm pretty sure that means he's going the right way. Me too. Let's do it. Now, I heard something about not being able to use well, that's not quite right, is it? Did I go past my guy? But not being able to use a crafting table at the same time that someone else is. Kevin says, not really. I tried for Sue Yui, or however you spell her name, but no luck. And yeah, I tried to get her. I don't think that I managed. But I made the attempt. I think you may have spelled it right. I'm not 100% sure. All right, we're going to go and try to find tarnished weapons and turn them, well, we're going to try to find, weapons we can turn into tarnished weapons and see how that goes. We're missing a sharpening stone. Now, how that can that be true? I see why, because I don't have the personal depot checked. Now, try that again. There we are. That's more like it. We auto inventory it and move on to the next step. So now what's interesting is that I've definitely had personal depot selected on here before. So at some point it deselected personal depot. Something to keep in mind for sure. Now when we do this, we can get a tarnished weapon or we can get our rusty weapon back. You have to kind of pay a little bit of attention to that so that you know if you need to try again to make the tarnished one. And all that I'm trying to do right now is make some ore. So it starts with breaking down. Well, first you make the tarnished weapon from the rusty ones. Then you start making the ore from that. And then you can make bricks of ore, and then you can make sheet metal. All right. Okay, I think we got everything there. Now, the next thing you can do is you can do like a parentheses open and then a T and space, and that'll get you a grouping of things that you can make from the kinds of tarnished weapons that you have, right? So I'm just going to go down this list and make whatever we can, which is going to be small bricks of ore for the most part, but also some small pieces of ore probably. And I think that whether it's a piece of ore or a brick of ore depends on the size of the weapon that we're breaking down. Kevin says, I'm going to pray I get Jezebel, and I'm going to select Valara. Excellent. Very cool. That's information from Watcher Realm stuff. You guys play that? All right, let's see here. We are going through water as well as the weapons, because it uses water every time that we try to combine. Even if we fail to make the combine, it still uses a flask of water. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to be sure to have plenty of that. One thing I also want to do while I'm in this area, if I can remember to, is get plenty of like, I think cups of flour, make sure that that's all topped up, and probably bottles, I think. Bottles, water flasks, and then like flour. I'm trying to remember what else I'm interested in grabbing while I'm here. Maybe I just go and try to cook some things and we'll see what happens. That might be the way to do it. All right, so got that. Now let's try brick, because it's just the small brick of ore, I think, is what I'm trying to do from the pieces. So we come here, I can do this a couple of times and get a couple, hopefully a couple more of the small bricks of ore. But as it turned out, it didn't work out. We were unable to make any bricks out of those little pieces. That's too bad. Kevin says, anyway, how you doing? Doing well. How's the comic book store? Wonderful. Any more new packs or sets? Let's see. Not yet. The last one I think was, you know what? I think it was Marvel Superheroes. But we haven't been drafting Marvel because he kind of lets the drafters choose what they want to draft. And so the last thing that we drafted on Saturday was Murders at Karlov Manor, which was interesting. I haven't played that one in a little while, so it was fun. I went 5-color. It was different, definitely. Let's tap in metal here. Try to get our sheet metal. We only have one shot at it, and we failed. So what a shame. What a shame. All right, all that work, no return. I wonder what my blacksmithing skill is at right now. Let's see here. Blacksmithing, oh, we are not doing well yet. 31 out of 300 is not wonderful. All right. That's okay. Who needs to do wonderful? No one. All right. So let's end find, which was a useless endeavor anyway, because we did not get a wisp. Let's try. Okay. let's try going to the brewing station next. We come over here to the brewing barrel, and then we can have a nice, we got a wisp for that one. All right, moving right along. Yeah, so the draft went pretty well. It was a lot of fun because normally I try to stick to two colors as much as possible because I have abysmal luck on land, and normally any more than two color and I'm just shot. But in this case, I thought I would have a bit of fun with it and go 5 color and just try to pull plenty of mana fixing, because there was quite a bit of mana fixing going around in murders, and I didn't really realize that how much there was until we were playing it on Saturday. So I was able to get basically, most of the mana fixing I was able to get, and there was a lot of add any color to your mana pool stuff. So it was very interesting, and I was able to play it successfully. I figured I would sit there and just not be able to do anything, but it was very doable. I got a couple of those cases where if you have one permanent, if you have all of the colors represented in your permanents, then you get to solve it, and it does crazy stuff. So I got to do that. It was fun. Yes, indeed. Now, what do we got here? Let's make sure, okay, Personal Depot is on, and then let's go through and see what kinds of things we might be able to make, and what kinds of things I need, right? So casks, that'll be something, you know what? I should have brought a pen because I have a piece of paper here, and then I could have written down what exactly I need. I'm looking around to see if there is a pen somewhere around. But some of these things feel like they're viable, right? So like malt, for instance, barley feels like maybe it's uh, one of these things, one of the foraged things. Malt though, surely you buy that, right? Cask, I feel like we would buy. You know what? I'm gonna go to get a pen because I think that this is a good idea. Hold on. All right, made it back. That didn't take too long. Let's see here. So I want a cask, not just one. Probably, I would imagine we would need a cask every time we make one of those, right? So we'll need casks. We'll need what did I say? Malt. All right. Obviously, water flasks need to probably be topped up, right? Because those are used not only in making drinks, but also in breaking down ore, and who knows what else. Maybe all kinds of stuff. We definitely need bottles. All right, what else might we need here? Just on the regular. Okay, that's more of the same. What is this anyway? So it's fruit in general. So I don't have any fruit, apparently. Azure algae, we don't have. Ochre algae, we also don't have. All right, what's this? A bag of canard nuts. All right. Hops. We've got hops now. Do you suppose that hops is one of the things that we could forage? I'm not sure. Kevin, so what's the beverage today? I've got Dr. Pepper at the moment. How about you? Let's check. I'm just going to write down hops because I feel like that's a possible thing that we would want to buy somewhere. I do need to go fishing. I keep forgetting to go fishing, but we can try to get some of this interesting kinds of fish. Maybe need some drake eggs for that. What do we need for eggnog? Probably milk. Oh, spices, right? Sure, sure. spices are certainly something that we're gonna get from a merchant, right? Feels like. And yes, malted milk, not just any milk. We need malted milk for this. Now I feel like if we got milk, we could make malted milk. Is that a thing? It is a thing. All right, so probably it's milk that we need. I wonder if we can make butter eventually. Kevin says water. Very nice, very nice. That's what I should be drinking, but you know, it is what it is. Brandy. I feel like we can probably at some point make some brandy. One would think. Elven spirits, I know what that's made from. It's made from gnomish spirits and morning dew. Now, where does one get gnomish spirits? Does one make gnomish spirits? That would make sense, but I don't see it on the list. Not sure. Okay, here we have bone granite powder, rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol feels like it's another buy thing, right? So I'm going to write down rubbing alcohol. No idea where we would find it, but it feels like a bought item. Got bog juice, that we can make. All right. Let's see what's new and different here. I'm also over these. Okay, red wine. Feel like red wine is something that we would be able to make eventually. Kevin says, but I have a big dental appointment here in 40 minutes, getting all 4 of my upper front teeth crowned. Ooh, that sounds terrible. Good luck on that, man. Maybe you will feel much better after all's said and done, though. Elven wine, white wine, that's more, well, okay, that's a cask, it says. Okay, we need fish eggs. I've never seen fish eggs yet. Maybe that's something one would think that it would be something that would be fishing up, but I haven't seen it thus far. Sylvan berries, I saw those for sale before, but I think it was traded in from a player, so we must be able to get them. Green body paint, lichen clover. We got cactus pulp and emerald leaves. I suppose we can harvest them, but I don't know. Kevin says 2.5 hour long. Yeah, good luck to you. We need some gypsy wine to make some gypsy porter. But gypsy wine is doable, except we need wine yeast. Now, wine yeast, that doesn't really sound like something we're going to be harvesting. I don't know. Maybe, but I'm going to write it down in case we see it on a merchant. All right. And now we have packet of Keola sap. A packet of Keola sap. Is this something we can put together? I don't know. I'm going to write it down too. May as well. Packet of Keola sap. Weird. Okay, let's see. Well, this is interesting. This heady paella, and I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Paella, right? That's paella. Piala? Anybody know how to pronounce that? Piala, is that it? Packet of Piala sap, I think. I'm guessing that's right. Until someone tells me different. All right, we got honey mead here. That uses some of that royal jelly that we've been getting from those wasps. One would think it would come from bees, but one would be wrong if one thought so. All right, we got a flask of blood water. I don't know if that's something we can at some point make. It doesn't sound lovely. Honestly, I don't want any blood water myself, but you need some in order to make the Legion lager here. Giant blood sack. It is exactly as you think it would be. We got the giant blood sack. We got dead bone barley and a bottle, and that's what you need in addition to the water. No, wait, that's not water. What is that? Oh, it's the flask of blood water that I just mentioned a moment ago and then completely forgot existed. Cool. Got silk string. Man, we're putting silk string in our drinks now. Gotta get that fancy stuff. Let's add some gold and have a party here. Silk string, oak bark tannin, and a small prick of mithril. Wow, that's unexpected. I actually think you can make the silk string, so I'm going to mark that off the list. I'm pretty sure that's something that you can put together at the loom. Okay, so What a strange thing to make at a brewing station. It's light mithril string. We also can make light steel string at the brewing station. Isn't that weird? Lizard blood temper. We're making strange things over here. All right, how about this malted milk? So for malted milk, okay, it's called bottle of milk, not just milk. So let's write this down properly. Bottle of milk. I feel quite certain that's something that we're going to have to buy. I can't imagine scrounging that up through foraging, right? All right. We got mead here. Do I have malt? I do have malt on the list, so all is well there. That looks like the picture that they have for noodles, but it's yeast. Let's add yeast. So that's another thing I don't feel like we're going to be scrounging up. We could. It's a possibility, but it's not feeling like a likely possibility. Say it's not feeling like a probability anyway. Okay, more of that ochre algae and azure algae is going on, and now some white algae as well. I'm feeling like those come from fishing, right? Surely we fished that up. Kevin says, thanks. I'm going to get ready now. Good chatting with you. You too. And thanks for the good wishes. Absolutely. Alder beach wine here. Okay. Arctic mussels and a small clam. All right. Alder ocean mead. We've got the cass. We've got ochre algae. We've got white algae and gray algae. All kinds of algae is coming into play with the Alder stuff, I notice. We got a bottle. We got white algae, azure algae, and ochre algae. They seem to be making ample use of their algae population. Prismatic dye. So it's interesting. We brew up the prismatic dye with glaze lacquer and prism shards. I don't have either of those things. Okay, celestial essence. I've seen that before on these lists. I have no idea where to get a celestial essence. I assume it's something that's going to chop from creatures at some point. Okay, we got red porter, which uses red wine. I assume these are probably, yeah, these are all going to be red wine and flasks. We got roe porter, which also uses red wine, but also uses elven wine. Okay, root beer. Root beer needs frosting. Yeah, that's one of the big things that I need to get. Frosting goes on a lot of things, and we're going to need plenty of that. So frosting, chunk of ice. I haven't seen chunks of ice yet, and I'm not sure where to get them from. I had hopes that we could just kind of harvest them, but probably not, right? It feels like a root beer float would be something we would, oh, look at that. There's regular ice and then there's chunk of ice. So maybe we would get, I don't know which one, chunk of ice or ice. Interesting. But you can make the root beer float either with a large chunk of ice, Stormguard root beer, and frosting, or with just ice and Stormguard root beer and frosting. It's good to know. Okay, we got the short ale here. We need the cask, need the barley, and we would need the hops. Did I put barley down on my list? You know what? It doesn't look like I did, but that's because I shouldn't need to harvest. I mean, I shouldn't need to buy barley. One would think that it would be a foraged thing. I could be wrong. Maybe I need to buy the barley. Okay, we got the soda water here, which requires soda, obviously, and water. All right, makes sense. Soda. All right, pumpkin cider, spiced pumpkin cider. That requires barley, hops, yeast, bottle, pumpkin cider spice, pumpkin flesh, and another pumpkin flesh. Stormguard root beer, which is needed for making the root beer float, of course, requires roots, water, spices, yeast, and a bottle. So there is a possibility that I could make up some Stormguard root beer just by buying most of the supplies. Okay, strong mithril string, fancy stuff that needs silk string, couple pieces of, a couple of bricks of mithril, and oak bark tin. What's interesting is I haven't seen any teas yet. I feel like that's something that should happen. To make a water flask, you need 4 pods of water and a bottle. Then we have U-leaf tannin. So we would need obviously U-leaf and water flask. Interesting. All right, now, so with that in mind, let's go see if we can find anybody who will sell us some of these items. We've got a bartender here, but check on him. Don't have a lot of hopes for him because he sells, this stuff. Now, let's see. Is any of this anything? Okay, we could just straight up buy the white wine and the red wine. And then we could make some stuff with it. I think brandy was perhaps an ingredient in something as well. I feel like we should be able to make those items. I'm not sure if we can, but I feel like we should be able to. So I don't want to jump to buying them quite yet. Let's come over here. We've got, we're going to first go to Chef Duga with general supplies. I know that guy says brewing supplies. We're just going to check and see. Okay, so fresh fish, loaf of bread. That's actually a thing that we want to get plenty of because I found that that's an ingredient in many of the foods. So I'm actually going to underline things that I see often. Which loaf of bread, frosting, I see spices or something like that fairly regularly. Then we got bottles, water flasks, and occasionally, occasionally the casks. But I feel like those are the more important things to have on hand at this time. All right, so we've got that information. And you know what? I should go ahead and grab the loaves of bread, right? So if I get a whole bunch of those, how many would I want though? Was there 2 silver and 3 copper each? Let's click buy. I mean, that's a good amount, really. Let's just do 10 of them for now, because that's already 2 gold and 3 silver for just 10 of these suckers. So pretty expensive, all things considered. But we'll get some just to have them in our trade skill depot ultimately. Hopefully. Okay, so the barley is for sale here. Should I, you know what, I should probably write that down and just get a pile of it maybe. Barley. All right, the barley is 1 silver and 8 copper each, which is fairly significant. I'm gonna go ahead and buy some of them. I'm not gonna buy a ton. We'll do 10 of those as well. All right, now the bottles, we need lots of bottles, right? That's kind of the way it is. So we bought 100 of those. That was 5 gold. All right, casks. Those are nice. They're more expensive. Let's get 10 of them. Okay, we could buy grapes, but I don't see any need to. We got hops here. Let's buy some of the hops. Again, I don't want a great deal of them. I don't know how often I'll use them. Let's do 10. Let's get some of this malt. And, we'll get 10 of those as well. Nature's beverages, who knows what that is. Rice, that feels like it could be useful in cooking. But I don't think I need it quite yet. We've got wine yeast and we've got regular yeast. Definitely need some of this yeast, so let's get 10 of those as well. Right, there we are. Now, that's a good number of things. Certainly it's not everything that we need, but it's some of what we need to make some of this stuff, I think. It says we're low on drink. I wonder if that means we ate something. Probably ate some berries or something along the way here. We're done. Looking buttons bad here. Oh, there we go. Got it to work. Says I must target someone to beg from first. Well, I'm not interested in begging, thank you. There we are. All right, let us search. Okay, just start at the top and have a look. I could make the ale, but that's just because I bought all the supplies to do so. Now, ale, of course, is an alcohol. A lot of this stuff is going to be an alcohol that we can make. Bog juice, we could make a few of those. Take snake scales. Do I want to? Maybe not yet. Maybe go through and look a little bit more. We're out of fruit, so we can't do any bottle of polish. Not sure if I want to anyway, because from what I can tell, it's not as great as all that. So I have nothing to use it for. If only we had a bag of quinoa nuts, we could make some ale. Whatever good it would be, I'm not sure. Drink egg oil, got eggnog. I didn't see anywhere to get milk yet. Um, so far, we've got bog juice, I think, is something that we can make. Even with all the stuff we bought, we're still not really able to make a whole lot of stuff. I could do a flask of berry juice, and I may do that in a moment. But first, I'm going to go through, see if there's anything else that I can make with what I've got right now. And then if there's not, I might go back and do that. Looks like we can do the honey mead. Now, let's first of all try it out. And we got our cask back. Try again. Oh, got our cask again. Brewing man, come on. Get up. Get up a bit. There we go. Honey mead. Okay, let's see what honey mead does. It says we're low on drinks, so it's definitely not counting. I don't really know what the point of the alcohol is, to be honest. But let's drink it. I know that it makes us all blurry visioned and all that. Alcohol tolerance went up. What else? Not sure. Did we get any stats from drinking it or anything like that? I wonder. Kind of don't think so, to be honest. But it would be cool if so, right? I don't see any stat boost there. Intelligence is in the red, wisdom's in the red. I wonder if it was before we drank the alcohol. That would be an interesting thing, wouldn't it? But yeah, I don't know if that did anything there or not. All right. So I was able to make one of those. I don't know if it was worthwhile or not, but it was fun, right? Let's go on down. What other kind of stuff have we here? Make some mead for that, what that's worth. Don't know if I want to. Make some Ogre swill. That sounds like more of the same stuff. I do wish I knew what it did. And if I had paid more attention prior to clicking, probably would have been smart. But alas, it is not how things went. We got a short ale we could make. There doesn't seem to be any bonus for making something the first time or anything like that, as far as I can tell so far. The only thing we're missing here is the spices. I think I have to go out of town to get spices. Not 100% sure, but fairly sure. Let's go ahead and make some water flasks with our pods of water. And then perhaps I will sort by trivial. I can't sort by trivial. What a shame. I feel like I was able to sort by trivial before in the other view, though. It's unfortunate. Above the chemist says, I rewound a bit. All the honeymead did was drop your intelligence and wisdom. I didn't notice any stats increase. Man, that's a shame. So it goes down, nothing goes up. What is the point of the alcohol? I just don't understand. It doesn't seem to, I don't know, maybe it sates. Hold on. I know I was out of drink previously. Is this considered drink? If I heal myself, you know what? That was another thing I wanted to try anyway. Find out, if I'm definitely regenerating my my mana. it had said earlier that I was out of food and drink, but actually since then I've gotten the water flasks, so that's not probably helpful. I would still be drinking anyway. What a shame. Yes, and it says consumed 1 pot of water. Okay, yeah, all right. So dropping the intelligence and wisdom is not the best, most exciting thing to do. However, I see that the wisdom appears to have recovered. The intelligence is still down a little bit, but not too much. I wonder, I don't know. Not sure. All right, so back to this, I suppose we'll go back and make, do I want to make bog juice? Probably. That seems like the best option of the moment. So bog juice it is. It's exciting. It's a dream. All right. And 4 of the bog juices, well, and 4 attempts at the bog juices. And then we can go on to what? There was some fruit juice, I think. It wasn't berry, I think. I think it was fruit. Maybe it was berry. It was berry. Make some berry juice. There we are. Okay, that's looking better. I could make some ale. Not sure if I want to or why I would want to. Maybe there's some really good alcohols that we can make that will like increase something. You would think at least, you'd think it would decrease like dexterity, but it might increase charisma. Who knows? One would think. I see that charisma and intelligence are both gray at the moment. So something has changed there. Intelligence is definitely coming on up. I wonder if maybe the saves changed or something. I'm not sure. I see that mana regen is at 20 right now. Now, this is something that I suppose I should be looking more at whenever I do consume food and drink. If I look at the at my stats more often, it's very hard because I don't know when I'm going to be consuming it, and I don't actually notice that I did consume it. So I'm really unsure how to do that. So what I do notice is that my mana is regenerating much faster than my HP is currently. I think my HP is regenerating based on the berries that I recently ate. And the mana is regenerating based on, I'm not sure. One would think it wouldn't have been the pot of water that would have gotten me there, right? But I have no idea what I last drank. I don't know how to find out. So it's a shame. Could have been a water flask, but surely not. Above the chemist says, I think drinking several may increase strength or stamina, both slightly, but probably not worth the trouble or the vision impairment it gives. Well, I mean, there's one way to find out. Let's try to make something. Okay, let's not make the ale because our odds are very low. Okay, we got, let's see, bottle of Kalish only costs 21. Let's see here. Trying to find an alcohol that I can make that is easy to make. Something I've got a pretty decent shot at making on the first attempt. It's not looking great. Othmer short beer? No, can't make that. Let's see here. Maybe something in the 30s, perhaps, which is where I'm at. Don't think that'll help. Try the bottle of Kalish. I do have enough to make one of those. Let's give it a go. You did make it. All right, now we're currently, all right, 189, 163, 60. Okay, let's consume it. Ooh. Okay, so strength went up, stamina went up, Intelligence and wisdom dropped. I didn't notice what happened to agility, dexterity, or charisma. But certainly strength and stamina both did go up by like 1 point or something like that each. So yeah, sure. If you had a steady bit of alcohol going, I mean, it may not. I mean, this is not terrible, right? It makes you kind of do this when you run forward. That's just clicking forward, but it ends up going in the direction. It's more of a visual thing in that regard. Of course, I guess if there were creatures around, they'd be more likely to attack you and stuff. But it's not too bad as far as the steering goes, and I assume that as your alcohol tolerance goes up, then probably you don't have that effect so much. Just my assumption there. But okay, so it's sort of a stat increase, even if perhaps it's minimal. Let's move these berries over here. I don't know where the next thing to eat I have is. As far as eating goes, to try to find fortunately I have some. Oh, I wonder if this is gonna run me off the edge. That's a little trickier going along here. Okay, we're gonna make it over to the oven. Actually, I think I went the wrong way. Hold on. Yes, you gotta go over here. But first, let's get this random armadillo. Poor little guy. Above the chemist says Agi and Dex dropped 1 point, charisma was unchanged. So if you're tanking and you're drinking, that may not be a bad idea because, well, it may be. I don't know. Say you're not tanking and you're just like off tanking. That seems, I don't know, that seems like a possibility. I'm not sure. I wonder if the detrimental effects go down as your stamina or as your alcohol tolerance goes up. Because that would make a lot more sense to me. All right, what do we got going on here? I went back to the brewing barrel. That's what I did. I wanted to go to the oven. The oven is not here. Where is the oven? Who knows? Let's use the map. That's not the map. This is the map. All right. Come down and go to the oven. All right, it's up there. Now, you'll notice that already I can walk better. Let's have a look and see if the stats, yes, the stats have dropped. So that wore off very, very quickly. I wonder, again, do higher level things last longer, perhaps? You know, I'm curious about the effects ultimately of the alcohol and whether it's worthwhile. One would think it must be worthwhile because there are so very many alcohols that you can make, and one would think that there would be a reason for that. Don't know if that's accurate or not, but it's what I would think. All right, let's try going down this. We've got butter. Butter seems like a thing we would want to buy. So let's put butter on the list. Okay, what else we have? Pumpkin seeds? Nah. Ground pepper? That's probably a good thing to have. Ground pepper. What else? Copper sheet. Now that makes sense when you look at it, right? That you would want a copper sheet, you'd want a baking sheet to put that stuff on. I just never realized that you might be needing a copper sheet in a recipe like this. So this is something that I feel like we can make, and I'm gonna write it down. Copper sheet feels like a craft one over on the forge, probably, right? Okay, batwing crunchies. The only thing we would need for that is the frosting. Frosting is one of those things that's used in multiple places. So definitely we want to stock up on frosting. Trying to see if I wrote it down. I did write it down. Okay. Bear sandwich, that's one of the ones that uses so much bread. All kinds of sandwiches, of course, use bread, right? Birthday cake. So you can't make birthday cake slices until you have a birthday cake. What's interesting is that you can make the birthday cake slices far before you can make a birthday cake. So that's interesting. Um, what's also interesting is you don't need a knife to make the slices. So you do need a baking sheet to make the baked pumpkin seeds, but you can slice those birthday cakes with just your mind alone. All you need is that cake and the recipe, and you're good to go. All right. Now, Bixie Crunchies, on the other hand, need frosting and Bixie parts for. Haven't seen any Bixie parts yet. I don't think I've killed any of the Bixies. It's too bad because they're required in a lot of things. Now, you can make a burnt loaf of bread with just a loaf of bread. All you do is throw that in there and you burn the bread. Isn't that exciting? Then we've got drought repellent jar. We would need a small clay jar. I don't know if we'll need that often, but you know what? That's a pottery thing, right? Small clay jar. Let's write that down. That's something we can try to make. And I need to get my pottery skills up anyway, so why not, right? Above, the chemist says, I wonder if some of these ingredients are even in the game. It would not shock me if the devs had not fully vetted the trade skill list. I've seen several that I don't think were around in the classic era. Interesting. I have no idea. I know that some of them are in the game, and there are some that you have to run to really weird places to find. Rat ears and fire beetle eyes for the edible goo. I've made a good deal of edible goo. Okay, now this uses fresh fish, which we have. We got jug of sauces. Okay, so jug of sauces is different, of course, than spices. So jug of sauces. And I feel like that's used in a lot of different things. And then a pot. Now, the pot is made by, of course, the potters, but it can also be made by the blacksmiths. I think it's cheaper to make it on the pottery wheel, from what I understand, than it is to make it on the blacksmith's forge. All right, we got the green gill juice. We would require green gill bones in order to make green gill juice. Doesn't sound lovely. Okay, block of cheese. Or it's not called a block of cheese. It's just called cheese. I've seen that on the list a few times. And I haven't seen it for sale, ever. We do need the non-stick frying pan. That's another thing you can make. I think that's on the forge. Non-stick frying pan. I think this is correct. And so there we are, non-stick frying pan. We cannot come anywhere close to making a grilled cheese sandwich currently. Okay, hearty meat sauce requires anaconda meat specifically. Okay, that's because this is the anaconda meat sauce. Okay, we need spices. We already knew we needed some of those, and jugs of sauce. Same for this, basically. Then we got lizard on a stick. That sounds just delicious. Need spices, jug of sauces, and skewers. Skewers feels like a thing we would need to buy as well. Skewers, all right? What else we got here? Mammoth sandwiches. Need bread and probably mammoth meat, I'm guessing. All right, for all of these kinds of noodles, you need an egg, you need cup of flour, and you need water flask. Did I write down cup of flour? I don't think that I did. And it's vital to have a cup of flour. So I'm going to write it down. Cup of flour. Unfortunately, in Oggok, there's no place here to get a cup of flour. You have to go outdoors, and there's somebody out there. They're tagged, I believe, as like a baker or something like that on the map, and they do sell the cup of flour. All right, so there's all kinds of eggs that can make these noodles, and you just have to kind of check and see what you have. I don't know if I have any eggs on my person. Kind of don't think that I have any eggs right now. I could be easily wrong because I don't pay a lot of attention to the things that auto loot. And pretty much any eggs are going to be auto looting as far as mine are concerned currently in the area that I'm at. Now these omelets also require the egg, of course, the nonstick frying pan, and they require cheese. I do wish that I knew where to find some cheese. It's probably exorbitantly expensive. Don't know. You got jug of sauces, vinegar, and Bixie parts for the pickled Bixie. So we definitely are going to need some vinegar in order to do any of these pickled recipes, which is interesting because don't actually need vinegar to pickle things. You can use brine. But here we are, needing vinegar anyway. It's going to be all the same stuff across the board. Looks like pickled stuff. Obviously, they're going to use vinegar and the jug of sauces, and then whatever kind of meat. Okay, let's see. We've got pumpkin pie here. Pumpkin pie requires milk, flour, 3 cups looks like, or two cups of flour. We got a pie tin. All right, let's add a pie tin to things that we could probably make. All right, pie tin. What's this? If it's not flour, hey, cup of sugar. I didn't know that existed. Let's do cup of sugar. Now, wait a minute. If there's cups of sugar, we should be able to make our own frosting and not be at the mercy of the lady, who sells it. Okay, but regardless, we got that pumpkin pie spice specifically. I would think that you could take spices and add them to pumpkin. I don't know. Can we make pumpkin pie spice at some point? Or we have to find it for sale? I don't know. But then we got pumpkin flesh. I don't have any pumpkin flesh whatsoever. And egg batter. Surely we can make egg batter. Do we need to buy egg batter? Not sure. I haven't seen it for sale. Rabbit stew requires rabbit. It requires a pot, which I have on the list of things to make, and some water flasks. Rat ear sandwich, we need obviously rat ears, and then jug of sauces and bread. Rat sandwich, we could make some rat sandwich. Let's consider that. I don't know that I want to, but it's a possibility. Throw some rat on some bread, got a rat sandwich. Rat steaks, on the other hand, required. What is this? This is specifically glooming deep rat meat, not just any rat meat, for the rat steaks and cobalt cooking sauce. So let's make the rat sandwiches, since obviously rat steaks don't require the right kind of rat. Did not manage to make the sandwich. Second attempt also was a failure. Made it on the third. All right, we got a rat sandwich. Lovely. All right. Now again, slice of Jum Jum cake. All it requires is a Jum Jum cake. No need for anything else. Vegetable soup. We've got the vegetables in the water. We don't have the jug of sauces or the pot. Too bad. Got the wedding cake down here, and then we've got a wolf sandwich. Wolf sandwich just requires a loaf of bread and wolf meat. We definitely have the wolf meat for it. Let's go ahead and make some of these. What we don't have is very much bread, so we're going to run out of that. And that's the limiting factor, but that's okay. We'll use what we have and then see if I can get some more bread from somebody nearby. Ideally. All right, so we've used up all of our bread currently. All right. Didn't end up making a whole lot of things. We got a few sandwiches out of the deal, pretty much. Earlier we got, I don't even think we managed to make the metal sheet, maybe, but I don't think so. So it's been not as fruitful as one might hope. But well, okay, I made some berry juice and some water. I felt like I made another drink. Maybe I've already drank it. Who knows? But regardless, we've got some good information here, which is many things that I need to buy. When I can find those, perhaps I can purchase them. Here we have the general supplies guy. He's got more bread. Let's go ahead and grab more. Let's get 20 more bread. All right, because we used it, so why not, right? Anything else I want to grab? Krunga, the general supply lady. Does she have anything fun? She also has some bread. Nothing else too exciting at the moment. So let's come back over here, and since we have more bread, may as well make more wolf sandwiches, right? Let's just type in wolf up here. if I can manage to get my fingers on the right areas, and then search for a wolf sandwich. Combine it. And there's another one. This should last us a minute. I have no idea how long a wolf sandwich lasts. And I would like to know what exactly they do as far as like stats go and things like that. Are these stat foods, or are they just something that keeps our health coming up? I'm not sure. And if we don't have any food and drink, I still haven't tested to see if we have any regen at all. Like in EverQuest 2, if you don't have food and drink, you still do regenerate health and power. You just don't regenerate it as quickly and you don't get the stats. And in there, it's more of a stat boost than it is anything else to a large degree. It's easy to come by, but I don't know in this game if that's accurate or not. But we do have some sandwiches built up. Got some berries if it comes to that. We just got a pot of water that came from foraging. Always nice. All right. So let's see if we can head back to the bank. If I can find where I'm at. Let's see here. All right. There we are. Let's head back over to the bank and deposit these things into the trade skill depot. It's funny, I'm used to using the mouse to direct me as far as turns and things, but I've been trying to use the keys on the keyboard more just so that I'd be sure to trigger those forage things and stuff like that. It's changing the way that I move. All right, let's see here. Trade skill depot, and let's try to throw some of this stuff in. Should be that a good amount of it'll go in. And then we can clear up the bags. I should be clicking shift. Someday I'll learn. Possibly. Unfortunately, we only have 100 slots. Oops, that is not what I meant to do. We definitely want to pull that ruined wolf cub back out, because that is for a quest that is getting our faction up with the people over there in Kelethan. So that's kind of important. It's possible that I now don't have anything to drink in my bags. Thrown it all away. It's not great. Should I pull some of it out? And if I do, which one should I grab? For just general use, I could pull out, like, say, 20 of the water flasks. Or, how's about I don't pull out any of the water flasks and I just buy a whole slew more of them? That makes sense. Let's do that instead. How about we find a guy who will sell us water flasks? Shouldn't be too hard. There's the food and drink around the corner here that I just passed. And I would imagine that we can get some water flasks right over here. Probably the general supplies lady has some. She doesn't, though. Her supplies are less general than that. Maybe more general than that. Who knows? Neither of those individuals want to sell us any water flasks whatsoever. How about the bartender? You have any water, bartender? No water. Shame. What a shame. Alright. When they say they're selling meat and drink, they don't actually mean it. That's what I gathered. Like so many people, right? Say one thing, mean something else. Let's come over this way and see if maybe either of these people saw some food and drink. Well, primarily what I'm looking for is water flasks, not so much food and drink. Let's buy a bunch of them. 1 platinum and 2 gold worth of water. That's insane. All right. Good to go now, I think. Got everything out of the bags that needed to be removed from the bags. I think I'll move these over here, and then let's put this stuff in. Oh, we can't. It won't go in. It's too large. How sad. Okay. Well then. What if we can put these things in there? We can. Excellent. Excellent. All right, there we are. Looks a little bit better. I might can see things at a glance easier. Okay, so I've cleared up the bags pretty well. I could pop back over to Calithan, Greater Fadar, at this point if I wanted to. I accidentally cast for it instead of the boots. And I don't think that I want to do that quite yet because I want to go outside of here and see if I can get more cups of flour and things like that. So I think having a good little stack of that stuff's not a bad idea. And I also want to see what else the baker sells out there. Because certainly I can get stuff out there that I can't get in here. Now, what's up with all these constructed potentials? I see them sitting around. No clue what they're all about. They're level 99, unknown constructed potentials. It feels like it would be like a world event type thing going on. But it also feels like that doesn't make sense in a beta game, right? So I'm not sure. Don't know what it's all about. All right, now I feel like the baker's to the left. I could be wrong. Let's have a look. Yes, Buck the Baker. Which actually reminds me of a book that I read as a small child called The Giant Jam Sandwich, because in that, there was a guy named Bap the Baker, B-A-P. This guy's Buck the Baker. And so every time I see it, I think, then Buck the Baker leapt to his feet and said, "What do wasps like best to eat?" Strawberry jam. No, wait a minute. Above the game, it says, I think the constructed potentials are used to manage moats, like combining lower moats into higher moats. Oh, cool. I had no idea you could do that. Very interesting. I have missed Buck the Baker somehow. Went past him. Okay. Is he in here? He is. He's right here. Am I right in saying that does not appear to be where he's at? Maybe this is, okay, this line goes down to him. That's what's going on. It's not on. It goes down to him. All right, here he is. Okay, so this is in fact where we can get the bottles of milk. Let's get them. Let's get some bottles of milk. Let's get, can we get 100? We can. There's 6 gold. Okay, I see 6, yeah. Okay. I see his prices there. All right, we need more cups of flour as well. So let's go ahead and grab a ton of those as well. That's another gold for the flour. We need tons of frosting. Let's get all the frosting in the world. That was another 1 platinum and 1 gold. I haven't seen anything that needs garnish, but garnish feels like something that would come into play sometimes. So let's get 10 of those. Okay, we've got some giant bat fur. Now that's not helpful. I need bat fur, but I don't need giant bat fur. I do need jugs of sauce, however. I need a good number of jugs of sauce. Let's get 100 of them. 1 platinum and 2 gold. We're gonna run out of money fairly quickly here at this rate, probably. But we'll keep going. Loaves of bread, don't need. Oh, he actually sells a mixing bowl. How cool is that? I could buy a couple of snake eggs and I could make some noodles or omelets or something, but I don't think I will right now. Let's get some spices. Let's buy 100 spices. It's 8 gold for 100 spices. And here's a spit. I don't have any of those, but I also don't think I want to buy one. Maybe I should. I wonder what all you can make on a spit. How much does it weigh? Is it worth carrying around? Maybe. What I really want is like a brewing jug, you know? So that I could just like carry it around, shake it up, be good to go. Seems like it would be fun. But let's go for some vinegar. I don't know how much vinegar I want. Let's do like 20 vinegar. I feel like a lot of things use vinegar, but I also don't have a lot of the things that use vinegar. To pickle, you know, pickling that meat. You would think that you could pickle vegetables. I didn't notice pickled vegetables on the list, but you would think that you could, right? Alright, so we got a good bit of stuff there. I think that'll really increase the amount of things that we can make. But let's head back toward Oggok and go, well, by way of killing this poor lizard man who's minding his own business, and why not some other things along the way as well. We got a rusty shortened spear. Can make that into a piece of ore while we're at it. Alright. Murdering our way toward Oggok. Why not? I really do appreciate that we don't have to click on the bodies to loot them. They'll just automatically loot. And that way you can just keep running and you don't have to go and find the bodies and, you know, make sure that a body that doesn't have anything in it is on top of a, isn't on top of a body that does. It's sort of nossing around trying to find the thing to loot. This is much better in that regard. That's one of the things that I wish they had brought over to EverQuest 2. Now I don't know if that was the way it was in the original EverQuest, or if you had to click in EverQuest 1 or not. Those who have played that can let me know, but I don't know if you could do that or not. Or if this is just like one of the quality of life enhancements they brought to this game. Could go either way, really. Alright, so currently what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get over to the banker, and I'm going to dump these items into the bank. But maybe I go by way of the forge so that I can make these rusty shortened spears, and also, mightn't it be smart to grab some of those sharpening stones if I can find some? I don't know if there are any over here or not. Huh. Somebody is, oh no, he just has them here for sale. Boots to the Long Road. You can just buy them all day long for 17 platinum and 4 gold. That's so very much. It's incredible. I thought someone had sold them theirs, but no. So I wonder what you can sell them for. What are they worth? If you haven't equipped them. Wonder. What do we have here? It is a kill. Don't want to use that. I don't know why I was confused on that, actually. You have any sharpening stones? No, no sharpening stones. How about you, Triplui? Do you have any? I'm not in need of them yet, but I feel like I will be. And so, I figure I may as well go ahead and try to grab them. Actually, also while I'm here, questions. Can I make... surely I can't make anything copper on the pottery wheel, right? Wouldn't make any sense. How's about on this kill? No, didn't really think so, but thought I'd make certain. Above the Chemist said definitely did not have that loot system in the original EQ, at least not back when I played it. EQL is the first time I've seen it, and it's a vast improvement from looting bodies individually. Absolutely. You know, it's kind of interesting because it harkens back to like old video games. You know, you weren't going around looting the bodies in the older stuff like the console games. So I don't really know why they started the thing where you click bodies to loot them, but it's definitely an MMO thing. Okay, let's see what we have here. All kinds of interesting things, none of which am I looking for currently. Let's see about the weapons. Nope, nope, nope. How about Blurgerda? Blurgerda? You have some sharpening stones. Let's get some. Let's buy 100 more of those suckers. Alright, very good. Blurgerda came through for us. Now, this. Because I want to see about that copper sheet for one thing. Copper. Nothing doing on the copper sheet at the moment. I wonder if I'm just not high enough level to be able to get that recipe. Possibly. Okay. So then in that case, let's go for tarnish. And I just have the one. Oops. So if I can click out of there. Well, how do I get into I suppose I have to okay. No good. Okay, I clicked off of it. Now, what is it that I actually have in my bag shape? It's a tarnished, it's a rusty shortened spear. So we want a shortened spear here. Combine an auto inventory. And then let's see here, we can do T shortened spear, right? Interesting. There's a short sword and a short spear. Let's combine inventory. So we got a small piece of ore. I wonder if we have enough to make a brick of ore. Not quite. We only have 2, we need 3. All right. So now, onward to the bank. As per the original plan. I was unable to beg from that one. It wasn't close enough, I guess. I've noticed somebody said the other day that they weren't getting any drops from these armadillos in Oggok, and I have been paying attention since then, and I've noticed that every time I kill them, I do not get drops either. So I don't know if that's working as intended or if it's a bug or what. They said they're not getting any XP from it either, and I think that's accurate. Okay, so here we are. We want to go over to the bank and throw some of this stuff into the bank, particularly the trade skill depot, ideally. Let's come over here, go to the trade skill depot, and then start tossing this stuff in. And again, if I would use the shift, that would be super, super helpful. I do want to add sharpening stone to the list of things that I want to just have on hand at all times because they're very, very useful. So there we are. Sharpening stone. Added. Alright. That looks fine. And already I've eaten one of my sandwiches, I see. It was not the wolf sandwich, I think it was the rat sandwich. Alright. Out of green. I actually intended to keep that water. Maybe we go ahead and grab some of the water. Now I think that as an ogre, I go through water faster than others do. let's just take 15 of these and throw them in. But I believe that the consumption rate of this character will be twice that. I think maybe of other characters. I heard something about that anyway. Whether that's accurate or not, again, you guys know better than I do, most likely. Alright, so now, is there anything else that I want to do here? I'm not sure. Can't actually think of anything that I need to get from here or do from here. So I think I can gate over to Greater Fadart and start hunting some items there. Particularly, I need the bat fur more than I need anything else. The bone chips. It appears that I'm low, but I'm actually not. I have a pile of them in the bank. Spiraling eyes, yeah, sure, I need more of those. I do need more of the ruined wolf pelts, but not enough of either of those to really go crazy on. And plus, you know, it doesn't matter to me a great deal because I'm really just trying to, you know, do some random things on this server and kind of get the feel for it and get comfortable with it more than anything else. My faction doesn't honestly matter. Odds are I won't even get enough faction by the time this server goes down to be able to do anything with it. It's just sort of a goal, a loose goal, let's say that. All right, let's switch over here to the out of combat list that I've made. That should have been where I put the gate spell, but alas, alack, it was not where I put the gate spell. Let's fix that problem right now. Let's put the gate spell right here. And then, do I want to save it? You know, I think that was the thing last time. I didn't want to save it as the OOC, because I already had something here. And maybe I stick with that theory and just don't save it. That's not a bad idea. Just keep it as it is. And we can always just put the gate spell back on it next time. And not a problem. Okay, here we are in Greater Fadart. And I think we want to go this way. Try to find, hey, you know, do those spits act as containers? I noticed that there's like a medicine bag, and I suspect that you use the medicine bag to do your alchemy stuff, because I can't find an alchemy machine. So there's a medicine bag for sale at the alchemy supply things, and that's the closest thing I can come to finding something that is an alchemy table. And again, in EverQuest 2, you have a chemistry table, but you don't seem to really have anything like that here. I should put my buffs on. I should also check on my buffs and see exactly what they are and which ones I want to actually use. But I haven't done so. That's all I can say about it. Probably I should also expand my size of my bar. Thanks for the follow, Debsource. At some point I should put more spell slots on. I think we can add a few more to what we have here. Got a rusty battle axe. I don't know exactly where I'm at in that regard. I feel like you can have some exorbitant amount of slots on your spell bar, like 14, which is not nearly as many as I'm used to in EverQuest 2, because we don't do spell bars, we do hot bars, and there's just tons of them. 10 hot bars, and that means quite a few. But I don't want to kill that guy. He's already maybe going to be attacked by that other fella down there. But anyway, yeah, I don't know for sure. We got a lot of bats and things down here that we can use the parts from, if nothing else. Don't want to attack the guards there for sure. But I think down to the southeast there are a good number of wolves and whatnot, which is the spot we want to be at. So what I really need is ruined wolf pelts. I'm not sure where the best place to get them from is, but one would assume it's from wolves, right? Now I don't know which wolves drop them. Judging from the fact that I saw there was something called giant wolf fur, I fear that that I should not kill the giant bats in order to try to get bat fur. I think I said wolf fur a minute ago. I meant bat fur. Because I don't suspect that I would get giant wolf fur from bats. You never know. Maybe they're gathering some up. But I don't think so. You would think that the ruined wolf pelts would be easier to come by than, like, the regular quality ones, right? Feels like. But I'm not sure that's accurate. Got some more of the Sylvan bats. Yeah, you know, other than the honey mead, I don't know what we do with the honey. I wonder if we'll be able to make some foods with the honey. One would think that we could make some things, you know, maybe like we could use some canar nuts if we ever found those and have a canar nut and honey sandwich, right? Sounds fine. I have no idea what a canar nut tastes like, but can't be too far off from other kinds of nuts. They all go very well with honey. So I don't know. Not sure of it. Sylvan bat did not was not fooled by my tainted breath. It's alright, we got him that time. Now I should be good on food and drink at the moment. But that won't last for too long. Also, is there a limit to how far away you can be when something dies for you to still get credit for it? I don't know the answer. I think I'm moving too quickly after casting, so it's not completing the cast sometimes. Okay, now something, it said interrupted, that's what happened. Maybe I have to see the name appear in my target window before I move. Certainly getting a little bit of rusty stuff already. At some point, I need to go and look and see, like, what can I actually make with those? Oh, fairy courtier. Well, I don't want to attack that. That's no fun. So probably I'm going to have to go to to a zone line. There's one right over here, fell with. We can come over here. And just zone in there. And I wanted to do that anyway, because there's a merchant right inside who will trade with me. And it's like adventuring supplies merchant. And he seems to have a lot of things that other people have traded to him. So I suspect a lot of people are popping in here who don't necessarily have good faction and throwing their stuff on him. And so you get a little wide variety of stuff from this dude right here. Lanadin, sorry, that looked like an R. Alright, so Lanadin, as you can see, has a good number of things that have been traded into him. Now look at this, ruined wolf pelt. Heck yeah, let's do. Get that. Let's see if he has any bat fur on him as well. No bat fur. This is an interesting trend. I've noticed he has not ever had bat fur. And look at that, the boots of the long road are more expensive from him. 18 platinum and 9 copper. That's because he's not my good friend. So I wouldn't want to buy the bottle of milk and such things from him. Above, the chemist says you have to come to a complete stop for just a second before you cast to prevent interruptions. If you cast immediately as you stop, sometimes the game thinks you're still moving. Yes, and also I think if you start moving after you cast, but before it has identified them as a target in your extended target window, that also seems to consider it interrupted or something. Fresh bone belt. I think those are needed for exchanging for faction with the merchants as well. Let's see here. What else might I need? None of these things are really jumping out at me as useful for my current endeavors, so I'll not worry about it. But it is good to find that guy. I guess I found him yesterday. He was quite helpful. Vesmio is there. Looks like my endurance is fairly low at the moment. No, that's not right. That's my XP bar right there. Debzor says, what are you making with bat fur? Not actually making anything with bat fur. It's one of the things, I've got this list of things that I can trade into a dude at the Emerald Warriors area. And it gives me a little bit of faction with the Kellethan merchants. So, I figure it's a good thing to try to collect. Just can't find any. Yeah, it's Spiderling Eye, Ruined Wolf Pelt, Bone Chips, and Bat Fur. You get one of each of those. You trade it into, I cannot think of his name, but I think it starts with an R, at Emerald Warriors area. And you get 5, in addition to other faction changes, you get 5 faction with the Kellethan merchants. Which would be very nice to be amiably with. I definitely just get a little bit too hasty, I think, with my movements in here. Alright, let's see, where am I at? I think I want to head back this way because I feel like there might be more bats in this direction than there are in the other direction. I'm not sure. There's definitely wolves this way. Don't really know if I need wolves as much because it seems like I keep 35 of those. And I feel like I would need like maybe 55 of each item to finish off my faction well enough for the merchants to trade with me. I'm not sure if that's right, but I think so. Somewhere in there. So I don't need quite as much. And of course, killing these orcs that are around here doesn't really give me anything like that I need, but it does give me some just general good faction with a lot of different guys. Spiderling eyes, I need a good number of still. 26 of those now, looks like. Just, I'm feeling like, are these really the right bats, you know? Not sure. I was told that it doesn't matter what kind of bats, but the amount of them that I killed without getting a single bat per more is fairly incredible. Getting a spiderling eyes, no problem. I don't actually know what else we need to use the spiderling eyes for, other than this quest. Let me see what it says on them. If we do an alt, it just quest. It doesn't tell me anything terribly useful though. Surely it's not just this quest though, right? Where did he go? Ah, right there. Got him. Gotcha. I don't really know what need I have for the drakelings. I just figure, hey, I'm out here clearing stuff, and may as well get them too. Sort of just a wholesale slaughter situation. Okay, getting too far north. Some of the stuff that I want. And where is my navigation bar? Gone. Let's try something. Nope, no good. I tried /NAV for navigation yesterday, couldn't do it. I also tried using like Alt in, Control in, Shift in. None of those things got me where I wanted to be. Let's click Q to get out of combat. Got some bandits over here. Don't really know what they're all about, but may as well knock some of those guys out while I'm in the area. I did notice they have a good amount of gold on them, the one I killed yesterday did. For what that's worth. Oh, we got a bandit lookout. Now, yesterday, I believe that guy was green to, or not green, but blue to me. I don't know if the, would still be, you know, if we could still spawn that. I don't know if he would always be a little too low level. Because I think that I may have leveled after he was green, so it may have out-leveled him. Not sure. I definitely moved too fast again there. It's, you know, listen to the sound, and it sounds like it's cast, and then it isn't always finished. Pixie tricksters, it's interesting. I thought that they would have some sort of effect on faction, but no, they don't. I don't want to go over to the fairy, any of the fairies. I don't want to kill the fairies. I've avoided killing them thus far, because I feel like they certainly have some affiliations that I wouldn't want to harm. Even, you know, I was concerned about killing the pixies for the same reason. Like, are they part of a coalition? You know, they've got some kind of union going on around here. I don't know. It feels like they would. Turns out, apparently not. This is kind of interesting with little area of standing stones. What is this? What is this? I don't know. I can't look up high enough. If I move back, can we see the top? Yes, we can. Is it the spires? In EverQuest 2, they have spires. And I wonder if that's what that is. No idea. Got another Pixie Trickster and some Morning Dew that I just scrounged up. Nice. Always like a little Morning Dew. And then we could someday combine that with some gnomish spirits. And voila, we have elvish spirits. And what good are they? Who knows? Who knows indeed? I don't know where to get gnomish spirits either. I wonder if in the Steam font there might be some gnomish spirits. I can't actually do anything in Steam font yet. That's what I found when I went there. They hate me with a passion. I don't know why, and I don't know how to fix it. But they certainly do not like me in the slightest. I suspect that ogres may eat gnomes. Maybe like a little snack, you know? Possibly. That looks like maybe another fairy over there. And if so, yes it is. It is a fairy. It's very noble. Definitely don't want to kill any fairy nobles. Coming along pretty nicely here, though, with spiderling eyes. Spiderling legs, I think those are... See, I felt like you could use those for trade skilling, but maybe that's not what I was thinking of. For whatever reason, I was thinking you could candy the spider legs. Maybe it's the actual spider legs, not the spiderling legs, or maybe I'm thinking something different entirely. Also possible. Let's not go over to the fairy notebook. Let's head north. Oh, that one's in a fight, maybe. Maybe not. Who are you in a fight with? Sylvan Bat? No one. His health is half down. For reasons unknown. Maybe it was in a fight. It hasn't recovered yet. Maybe it just killed some poor sad Ogre who was just trying to run through this place. Got waylaid by the bat. Who knows? Alright, we're getting... Okay, now I noticed that we got 2 wasp wings from a giant wasp. So we didn't get 2 giant wasp wings specifically. It sort of seems arbitrary. Whether you get giant parts from giant things, or whether you get just regular wings. Debjor says candied for baking, maybe. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was that I saw somewhere, I thought, that you could candy the spider legs, but like I said, maybe it was not spiderling legs, maybe it was regular spider legs, or I don't know, maybe it was a particular kind. Who knows? Don't recall. There's a fairy over there. Wait, nope, it's a pixie. All is well. Pixies, I can go ahead and smite. It's the fairies that I want to avoid, I think. And again, I'm not 100% sure of that. because I haven't killed one to find out, but certainly in EverQuest 2, you know, you definitely want to keep your fairy faction. You know, you wouldn't want to harm it because, you know, things like Calathon exist. Spiderling eye, heck yeah. I could auto loot Spiderling eyes, but I just, you know, I just want to have them go to my bags and not really necessarily auto loot them because then I would have to remember to turn it off with auto loot, and I could see me not doing that. It would probably be easier to put it on auto loot and then turn it off later someday and have to deal with the consequences of the auto loot until then. But I just haven't decided to do that yet. No other excuse. I'm gonna have to take a break here in a bit and get some food and get some stuff done in real life. But I'm gonna get a little more, so I'll go toward the Calathon most to try to make it over there because I may want to visit the forge soon and turn some of this into some ore and things like that. Decrease the amount of stuff in my bags maybe. Well, now that time, thought I was alright on casting, but I guess I was not. This is the difference between a rolling stop and becoming a complete stop. Let's try again. Hands off the keyboard. There we go. That worked. Let's head this way. Halfway toward the lift. Alright. Plenty of tricksters running around. So I should be able to do some amount of crafting. We just got vegetables from doing a bit of foraging. And who knows what all I've missed as far as getting such things. If I see some water, need to try to do some fishing. I haven't really noticed any water around quite yet. QPWDKJGH 2010 says about time they dusted this up. They have. It was, you know, still going strong as EQ1, believe it or not. But now they've come out with EQ Legends, and it's a bit of a resurgence in interest, I think. A lot of interesting things here. I was mentioning earlier that that you don't have to loot the bodies. It just, you know, you don't have to click it, right? It just automatically, a loot window pops up, and then you can set those things to auto loot or auto merge or auto store or auto sell. So you can automatically deal with things that you are having recurrently come up on your screen. So I do like that, and I think it should be implemented in more games, definitely. Oh, well, didn't mean to steal that guy's bat. Let's go back to the large widow over here and see if we can knock it down a bit. Try to not get involved with that fairy courtier over there. Oh dear. Alright, let's root the Rusty Warhammer. And see where we're at. Alright, looks like we need to go south to head toward the lift. Do need to get that navigation bar back up soon. Helps quite a bit. I may get distracted again on the way to the lift. Who knows? Depends on what else is here. Here we are. Made it this time, by gosh. Now, to get the lift to appear, click the little button at the top of this post, and the lift will come down from up there. Then we'll get onto the lift, click that button again, and it'll go back up. There we are on the lift. Click it again, and then we're going to turn toward the platform. Turn toward the tree, however you want to look at that. And that way we can just run off right into here. And I want to see if I can sell to this guy. No, he hates me still. I figured. But may as well always make sure, right? Gotta test every once in a while. Do you still hate me? It's been a little while. Turns out they do. Alright, I am gonna call it here for now. I'm gonna get some lunch and get some things done that I've got to get done. But it has been a pleasure streaming with everyone. Always fun talking to you guys. And hopefully I will see you next time that I'm on. If you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me so that you can turn on notifications and see the next time that I go live. Hopefully I will see you all then. Goodbye for now.